Hey LinkedIn, I was just thinking about this while I was driving in and just wanted to comment on this, but I just want to talk about the actual level of content that's needed. And when I think about the level of content, when I deal with either Richter, my own company, or I deal with our customers' companies, I really think about, and look, if budget had nothing to do with this is really how it should be. I think the level of content should be like BBC, CNN, 24/7 content happening around the clock for your company to get the right level of attention, because the truth is it takes a lot. It takes a ton these days to get the kind of attention that you need and to stay in front of your audience and to drive them in. And you really can't skimp on that. You really can't sort of take an anemic approach or be conservative, quite frankly. And my view is that, you know, your YouTube channel should be just completely bombed with content, with beautiful playlists that cover the products, cover knowledge-based content, cover everything, customer experience content, pre-sale content, sales enablement content, training, internal content, like all that stuff should be on the YouTube channel. And then you should be able to populate things like LinkedIn and blogs and other sites. And when you look at just LinkedIn alone, you should have enough content where you can push out 20 to 40 pieces per week and have anybody on the marketing team, anybody in the sales team reposting that and sharing that throughout the week. That's really the level of content that's actually needed. And what people, a lot of companies end up doing sometimes is, you know, they got a product video here, a product video there, maybe a value prop or whatever, and they're putting content out for sure, but it really needs to be much, much, much bigger and a lot more. And in my view, especially moving into sort of some level of economic contraction where things are happening now, there's a lot of news around layoffs and this and that. The truth is, it's counterintuitive, but companies should actually be leaning in to grab more attention, more market, and actually be leaning in rather than sort of getting shy about that. Because I think that, you know, there's only two ways you can go. You're either expanding or you're contracting, and so you got to lean into the expansion of it. And it does. It takes a ton. It requires a ton of energy, a ton of attention, a ton of content pushing to actually, you know, see that ROI. And most companies are not doing enough. Some are doing a good job, but most are not. And there's a lot more that can be done. So I think it's a worthwhile spend. And I think that, you know, it includes things like, you know, when we're looking at, you know, podcast content, audio ads, blog content, small snippets, video ads on things like LinkedIn and YouTube, organic content that could be pushed over to a site, to perhaps a masterclass or other content that you're putting out there. But people are watching. You know, there was that Gartner report that I shared the other day that I saw someone else share, and they were saying that the buyer journey, I don't totally agree with it, but the buyer journey only ends up in sales at the last 5%, which means 95% of that journey is them consuming content, is them consuming data about your company, data about your products, data about the things. So if that's true, you need to be sharp about what you curate and what they see and what, you know, those breadcrumbs of like driving that journey where you want it to go, making sure that you're positive about that journey and they're not searching elsewhere. They're not going to other areas that compare or review your product compared to other areas. You should be more positive and curate that journey to stay in front of them. So that's my rant, that's my thought, but I definitely think, I know it, but when you're looking at this, lean into the content. It's going to be more important than ever in the next year, 2 years. It will be more important than ever. And I think the companies that really lean into content and get aggressive about it, they're going to do really, really well.